So guys, open your starter folder, and then inside there, just double click on your index.html. So this is our boilerplate index.html for this budget web app. It's just a simple HTML and CSS code. Right click on your index.html and open with live server. Yep, we have it here. This is how by default our budget web app gonna look as for now. And even if we add new income, let's say for 1,000, you click it, nothing happened because we didn't yet do any logic or JavaScript into this budget web app. So let's do that now. So inside your folder JS, you're gonna find two JS file. Open the index.normal.js. So basically in this index.normal.js, we're gonna code the normal way of coding the JavaScript programming. And then after that, I'm gonna show you and share you guys how you can turn your normal way of coding your JavaScript into the neat and more readable way of programming your JavaScript code. So, uh, so if you guys use the same same code editor as mine, you can download and install and enable your extension. You can go here, extension, search for live server, hit enter, and then install and enable this live server from Weekday. I don't know if I pronounce his name right, but download and install this live server from this guy over here. So if you guys use a different code editor like Atom or maybe Sublime Text, maybe you guys have your own live server extension over there. I don't know. But anyway, this live server function is just to make it easier uh, for us. No need for us to basically refresh every time we add something or delete something inside our code. Okay, okay. For let's say if I say console dot log something, if I hit save in this file, and then you're gonna see on this console log below here is gonna say something. So I don't have to hit refresh button up here. It's gonna do it for me. So that's how the extension works. Much more easy. So let's uh, zoom it a little bit, I think, and then we'll go to readme. So the first thing that we that have to do is update month and year. This is the first thing that I'm gonna do. But I think I'm gonna put everything inside a a main Ceph invoke function. I'm gonna explain to you guys why. So execute all functions accordingly. This is a Ceph invoke function. We're gonna call this function is a main function. So in this function, I'm gonna call it functions executions. I'm gonna call it as function execution, and let's declare it as a normal function. Okay, let's say I have console log main. If I hit save, you see our console log in our browser, it show nothing because we didn't yet call this function, right? We didn't yet execute this function. If we do something like this, then it's gonna call it's gonna console log the main inside our console element or tab in our browser. So if we delete this back again, it will show nothing. But in order for us to not uh, just to make it simple, we don't have to call the function execution like we did earlier, like this. So instead of doing that, uh, the most easiest way is that we make this as a self-import functions. The way how to make that, just enclose this function inside and open and close bracket. So I put this over here, open bracket, I close, I open, I put another open and close bracket, and then put semicolon. If you hit save right now, you can see display main over here. This is self-import function, just to make the make it much more easier for us to run this. So inside here, we're gonna basically do call any main function of each uh, process that we're gonna do. So the first thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna update month and year, right? So it's gonna be update month and year. So second thing we're gonna do, change color of the vision class middle part content. So basically the second thing we're gonna do is change inputs container bg color according to selection made, right? So the third thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna add new item, and the last thing, of course, we're gonna delete item. So let's go for the first one. The first one, let's just we in here we just gonna call the function name over here. Basically, we're gonna execute everything in here. So update month and year over here. Copy this, copy, paste it up here, create it as a function here. Then let's say if you console.log something over here, say month and year. Save, you will console log in here, month and year. But basically what we're gonna do in here, we're gonna call the month and the year inside it. We're gonna calculate the month and year, actually calculate. Actually get, not calculate. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna let current, let month, let months, and also year. So the first thing we're gonna do is get the current date, of course. We're gonna get the current date. So inside here, current dot new date. That's all. Second thing, we're gonna create an array of months. An array of months, if I can spell month. So inside of here, we're gonna have January. Oops, copy. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, right? So this is gonna be Feb, this is gonna be March, this is gonna be April, it's gonna be May, gonna be June, this month be July, it's gonna be August, be Sept, Aug, Nov, and also Dec. Okay, so get current month, snap one. So month equal to current dot get month. Basically, it's gonna return if let's say June, then it's going to return 6 over here. So the fourth one, we're going to get current year over here. So year equal to current dot get full year. So the last thing we're gonna display on UI, of course. So this is where we're gonna use DOM manipulation, right? So we're gonna use document.query selector. We're gonna select something, and then we're gonna text content, the content, I'm gonna use a backticks to make it easy. Months, which month, and year over here. So let's find the class or the division class that contain the month of year. Index.html. So this month of year is situated inside the span class of date now. So copy the date now. So instead that I put it in here directly, I think I'm gonna create a function that contain all DOM string. So I'm gonna call it as p all DOM strings. So I'm gonna get let all DOM strings equal to blah blah. Open, then let DOM strings equal to function with that date now, and then date underscore now, and then forgot to put this period or full stop that's represent the class, right? And don't forget to return DOM string, or maybe we can just do something like this, right? Much more easy. So this one we can just gonna call all DOM string dot date now. It's safe. Voila, we update the June 2020. So everything that have to do with our DOM string, we're gonna paste it in here, of course. So we already update our month and year. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna tweak our background of input container that below here. Whenever people choose plus, gonna be blue, minus, gonna be red, pink. My bad. So we're gonna create a function called change input container pg. So inside that, copy this info, place it up here. We're gonna go upwards from here. So don't worry, guys. So equal, blah blah blah, and don't forget to declare this. So inside here, we're gonna do a DOM manipulation here. So since this is a change of input select, so we're gonna use a document. We're gonna add an event listener of change. Gonna add event listener of change. So document dot query selector. We're gonna select the class of the select input and add an event listener of change, and then directly we're gonna do callback function here, and then inside here we're gonna toggle adding or removing class that toggle adding and removing class of background. So document dot query selector of the middle part content, and we're gonna add class list. We're gonna toggle inside of here. This is the name of the class. Color change. Color change. So what we're gonna add first is our class of our uh, selection input here, and also the class of our container of inputs, all inputs here. So let's search them. So class of our select is content item type. Go back to our DOM string, and then we add content item type. My bad. Place it, and also middle part content for our container to change the background of the container, of course. Middle part content. See. So inside of here, just call all DOM strings that content item type, and inside I'll say all the strings dot middle type content. Okay, then save. Let's see if it's working or not. Yeah, it's working right. So we finished that. Then we're gonna go through add new item. So to add new item, we have two ways of adding new item, right? First one by clicking the check mark button, and another one by clicking by hitting enter key, right? So I think we have to do like 3.1 add new item by enter key. This one is by submit button. So basically what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use document add event listener of click, of course, for the button. So document dot query dot selector, we're gonna get the class of the submit button, but before that we're gonna add event listener of click, and we're gonna call a function add new item over here, and copy this one. We're gonna do the same in here, but instead of add event is instead of selecting the query select, this one we don't have to. Just document dot event listener listening to key down, where over here we're gonna call a callback function where we're gonna check when user press enter key, enter to insert new income or expenses, then if event dot key code equal to 13, or event dot which equal to 13. So the key code is for Google Chrome, but which is for, if I'm not mistaken, is for Internet Explorer or any other old Explorer. So we're gonna call the same function we call to add new item. To add new item. So this one we're gonna call the same function add new item, like in here. This one is the same. So it's either if the people click or hit enter key, which this 13 enter key code equal to enter key, then basically it's gonna execute this function of add new item. So let's go and create this function of add new item. Oops, bad. So we're gonna add new item, add new item. So this is gonna be 3 points. Wow, 3 point. Add new item. Blah blah blah. Okay. Don't forget to get let. Okay. The first thing that we have to do in here is get user inputs, of course. So let's input. We're gonna create a function to get these values from user input. Get values user put it. Save. And then second thing we're gonna do is validate user inputs. So we gonna get user input pass. So over here we're gonna just copy this one, copy, paste it here. Is 3 1 get user input. So inside of here, let item type, item description, item value. So first we're gonna get selection input value, and then we're gonna get description input value, and the last one we're gonna get number or value input value, and then we're gonna return all of them basically. Item type, item description, and also we're gonna return item value. So item type equal to document dot query selector of the class of the input, of course, and get value. Copy this, paste over here. Change this to description and change this to value. And over here, like always, we have to define it here first. So the class that we're gonna have to get is, yep, this one, placeholder for add description. Copy this, copy content. Oh no, before this content item type, this one is already copied. So we're gonna copy this compare item desk. So we're gonna name it as content item desk. Paste here. The same thing goes for content item value. Content item value. Save. So in here we call all DOM string that content item type, copy, paste, content item desk, copy, and content, oops, content item value. Okay, we get all of them already. We get a failure over here. 72, line 72. Or submit button. Forgot to put it in here. So we have to submit button. Content item submit over here. Then we add it over here. I'm gonna call it submit button. Save and all DOM string submit button. So this all working fine if we were to console log to see whether our input been fetched or not. Why don't we try first? Project 1, add value of 100. Enter. Yep, we have it here. Or let's say project 2, 200. And this time we hit enter. Yep, it's working also. Nice. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna validate our input that we get. So just a simple validation. So if input dot item description is not equal to 0 and our input value is not a number, of course. If it's not a number, we're not gonna let it go through item value. And also item value input dot item value. What the input dot item value is must be bigger than 0. Open bracket. So inside of here, the first thing that we're gonna do is gonna add new item to storage. We're gonna add new item to storage. Then next we're gonna do is gonna update and display new added items in UI. And think that we're gonna do. And that one we're gonna clear and refocus to description input placeholder 2.4. We're gonna update budget. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna calculate and display, of course. We're going to, if I can spell, come on man. What the hell? 2.5, we're gonna update expenses percentage. So this is see calculate and display. Okay, this is basically what we're gonna do. So we're gonna add item to storage, but right now we don't we don't yet declare our storage, right? So what is the storage? This is our storage object of budget data. We need to create an object of budget data first. They contain the array of income, expenses, and all this kind of data that we need. So why don't we create them first? So we created it here. Maybe we name this as 3.3.2, maybe. Who knows? So budget data. So this budget data, we're gonna create an object of data. So this I don't we don't need to put it uh, on a function because we want all the function we want this budget data to be global. So in order to make it global, we don't have to put it on or in a function. So just declare it like this. So this gonna be contain all items array type. So is all items is an object that contain income array. So income array, and also we have expenses array. Spend, if I can spell expenses array. Okay, then we're gonna have totals of each item types. So this we're gonna have totals, which an object that contain income totals. And so by default, we're gonna set it to 0. And we also have expenses total, expenses. Also, we're gonna declare it by default as 0. And then after totals, we're gonna have overall budget. Same, we're gonna init the value as 0 first. Last one, we're gonna have overall percentage. If I can spell right, overall percentage. Overall percentage, which we're gonna set it as 1, meaning that -1 represents not in existence yet. So this is our data. And of course, we're gonna have to declare what the attribute inside this array element, right? So income and expenses, they both have ID, description, value, and percentage. So to do that, we're gonna use a function constructor. So we're gonna declaration of uh, income data or attributes. So inside here, we're gonna write income we're gonna create a function constructor of income function, which gonna have ID, description, and also value. So this dot ID equal to ID, this dot description equal to description, and also this dot value equal to value. Yeah, guys, I know this is a long video. If you wanna pause it anytime, so just pause the video. And next thing is gonna be the same, but this one is for expenses. So change this name to expenses, and so this one expenses value ID description value. By expenses, we have another extra percentage where as for the same reason we're going to use -1 just to represent not in existent yet. Save. So that's all for uh, adjusting or creating the data. So we're going to focus on add new item into the storage. So adding new item is storage. First, I think we're going to use a self invoke function in here to make it easier. So the first one, we're going to create new item where new item is a self invoke function which contain let id equal to new item. And the first thing we're going to do in here, we're going to create id for new added item. But of course, if you use MongoDB, MySQL, or SQL, you don't have to create ID for new added item in your array. But because I use just a simple object of data, so that's why we need to add the ID of the item ourselves. So inside there, we're gonna use if data the all items that dependent on the input item type that we get inside our input value up here. So let's say if data all item income, so it's gonna go inside income. So the length, we're gonna check the length must be more than 0. So if the length is less than 0, meaning that the data inside array of, let's say if this one is income, if income array is less than 0, meaning that there is no data yet, so we can set it to 0 because there's no data yet, so the id have to be 0, right? So if have data, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the all items of the say the item type, and then we're gonna get the latest one, basically data the all items, open another input dot item type the length -1 dot id +1. Okay, don't don't be confused. Okay, uh let's say inside here we have data all the item input item, this one input item, let's say we have something like data dot all item dot income. So we select an income, which income that we're gonna select. We're gonna select dot id. So we trying to get the id of the income length. So let's say if our income array have uh, length of 4, meaning that if we have a length of 4, meaning that inside that we have id of 0, id of 1, id of 2, and id of 3, right? So if we have income length of 4, let's say this one represent 4, so we minus 1, then become 3, right? So if we get income 3 id, so income 3 id is the id of 3. So this one we're gonna get id of 3, which equivalent to 3, and then we're gonna plus 1 become 4, if you know what I mean. Or you don't know what. Okay, the simplest way should be something like this. Okay, let's say you have income, and then inside income, let's say inside income is an array. Let me explain a little bit more. So let's say id equal to 0. Okay, let's say this is the first one. Copy. Second one, third one. Okay, let's say we have something like this now, right? Okay, let's say we have something like this now. So this income gonna have the length of what? The length of 1, 2, 3, right? Gonna have the length of 3. So what we're gonna have here, uh, data the all item income. This one we're gonna calculate the total length of 3 minus 1. So it's gonna be 2. Income of 2 is 1, 0, 1, 2. This one, right? We're trying to get the ID of index of 2. So we're gonna get 2 over here. So in front of this, basically what happened here is that it's gonna return 2. This one is ID of 2. So 2 gonna plus 1 end up gonna be 3 after that. 2 plus 1 gonna be 3. So our next ID is gonna have the ID of 3. So if we add something after this, is gonna have the ID of the one we have up here. So that's what I'm trying to do over here. I hope you guys can understand that. So that's the first thing that we need to do inside of it. We need to create the ID of it manually ourselves. So next, what we have to do is we need to create new item according to the item type, of course, according to the item type. So the item type is between income or expenses. So we're gonna go if input the item type equal to income, then what we're gonna do inside of here is we're gonna create new oh, uh, we're gonna create a new item of income. So basically we're gonna call the uh, basically inside of here we're gonna call the function constructor that we create earlier. income. We're gonna pass the ID that we create above, and we're gonna pass the input item description and also input dot item value. So else we're gonna do the same thing but for expenses. Expenses, same thing happening here. Expenses, create new item. And then after creating the new item, what we're gonna do is we need to insert and store uh, the new item data into our budget, our budget data storage. So inside here, we're gonna use array.push. So all items, it depends on the input dot item type, of course, dot push, dot push. What we're gonna push is our new item up here, right? So after that, we're gonna return. We're gonna return new item data because we're gonna use the item for to display them. Oh, new item. So if we try to console log outside this function new item, let me try to console log. Why don't we try to console log new item? Or maybe not console log new item. Why don't I try to console log to see whether the data uh, if been updated or not inside the all items. So why don't we try to insert a data inside income 1000, we hit enter. So if you can see here in our console log, expenses we have 0. We don't have anything expenses yet, but we do have something in income. We have ID of 0, description project 1, value 1000. If let's say I add 2 over here, just to see whether the ID is working or not. So 2000, hit enter, come back here and see income. Now we have two array in here. The first one we have ID of 0. The second one is ID of 1, which basically is working all right now. So let's try expenses. So just say ran around 1000. So we can see in income we have 2, expenses we have 1, which the rent that we just insert earlier. So everything is working fine as for now. So we can delete this. So the next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna update and display new added items in UI. So what we're gonna do here is same thing. We're gonna create an a function, a self import function also. So item, we're gonna add item to UI. Gonna create a self invoke function. So inside of here, we're gonna use insert adjacent HTML, but I'm gonna show you step by step. So HTML template dot content list. So what we're gonna do here actually, we are trying to display, once we insert, we're trying to display the list of income or the list of expenses. So the code is here right now. So once we have income inside income list, then it's going to display this block of code. And also when we registered new expense, then it's gonna register this block of code. So let's say I copy this first, so list, then from here we HTML template, use backticks. We're gonna use backticks over here, and then we're gonna place our code template inside of here. So the first thing we need to adjust is this one. Change to income one. We're gonna change to our new item that we return from here. So our function over here can use this new item dot id. Copy this. Oh, sorry. Copy this. And our description, just replace it with description, and our value, just display, replace it with value. Okay, that's all. And then from here, but before I forgot, since we have income and also we have expenses, we need to make sure that these things is inside an if function. So we're gonna use update and create HTML template according to item type, of course. So if input dot item type is equal to income, then we're gonna specify the DOM for income list first. So inside here, content list gonna be all DOM strings dot income list. This we haven't create yet this class of DOM string, but we're gonna do it later. So this is where we paste our code. So we have this, and else copy paste is gonna be expenses. So expenses list. So for expenses list, copy the HTML part of expenses list. Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing as above. Copy this. And make sure to change your expenses. Change this one, new item ID. This one to description. And this one to value. The percentage as for now, just leave it be. Then after that, what left to do is we need to append the HTML template to the UI. So we're gonna use document dot query selector dot insert adjacent HTML. We're gonna use before and gonna call the HTML template. So we need to declare this income list, expenses list. So basically, where this gonna end up printing, and this where this gonna be end up append. So this one gonna be append inside of this div class. So copy this content income list. The same goes for content expenses list. This one gonna be inside this, right? So go back to your query, your DOM string. Then what you're gonna do is add income list. You already declared above, and then we're gonna declare expenses list. Just change expenses list. And the last one should be the last one should be, yep, those the only two. So we go back here. So inside of here, we just pass our content list because it depending on the item type, right? If the item type is income, then the DOM sync we're gonna use this, gonna place inside of this. So if you hit save, and then if you try it out, project one, go to 1000, hit enter. Oops, it's not displaying. Let me check if I have an error before and okay, most just fine. Let's just try again.